Please remain standing excuse me, while our music teacher, Mr. Mike Capio, leads us in America the Beautiful and our school anthem, the words of which are on the back of the book. Graduated seniors, family members and friends, alumni, faculty, staff and board of directors, special guests, I want to especially welcome Amber's parents who came all the way from China and her family. And all of you who are joining us around Good afternoon and welcome to this 35th graduation ceremony at Maharishi School. Let me begin this afternoon by introducing the stage. To my far left is Dr. Devin Morris, Prime Minister of the Global Country of World Peace and Chair Emeritus of the Maharishi School Board of Directors. Next is Dr. Ellen Axe Jones, a very hardworking chair of our current Board of Directors. Graduation speaker Jenny Rothenberg-Fritz, who I will introduce more fully in just a few minutes. To my right is our very hard-working Dean of Students, Ms. Lori Bowman. Excellent academic and career college counselor, right? Matt Fletcher. Across the country and around the world, communities like ours are celebrating this rite of passage for high school seniors. But the saga and significance of this school actually extends back thousands of years and to a far distant land. It was a simpler time, but people still had their attention on the stuff of life, their family and friends, their work and the weather. But in India, there was also a tradition, a heritage of looking within, of exploring the inner dimension of consciousness. This internal realm was so sublime, so hallowed, that only those who had committed a life into an ashram were given the most precious techniques for transcending, the means for going beyond the surface of life and perception and discovering the true inner nature within. This painting behind me depicts the tradition that sustained this knowledge generation after generation. Teacher to student, then the student rising to become the teacher. Just like in that tradition in the West from Socrates to Plato to Aristotle. But then came a change. In the 1950s, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi emerged from the Himalayan mountains for what he expected would be a short visit to the south of India. But while he was there, he shared the knowledge of Vedic wisdom and taught some people transcendental meditation. He saw at that time that modern life, even in the 1950s, was accelerating at such a pace that if people didn't have some means of achieving a balance within, of tapping their innate and unlimited creative potential, the stress of life would have an overwhelming effect. So, he expanded upon the tradition, began teaching transcendental meditation around the world, and then began training teachers who could also share this knowledge, this technique of meditation. And eventually, some of them suggested, Maharishi, wouldn't it be good to start a university that could include the knowledge and experience of consciousness at its core? Maharishi International University was born. And from it, with it, a small elementary school for the children and faculty. Well, by 1981, that school had grown, and the demand arose for a secondary school right here on this campus, thereby becoming the world's first complete consciousness-based education system, preschool all the way through PhD. And since 1983, we've been conducting these graduation ceremonies to honor the seniors who have completed this pioneering work in consciousness-based education, this integrated approach to learning that we call 200% of education, 100% inner development, and 100% outer success. The graduates, what you're completing today is what we might call deep education. Your peers in other schools know that buzz that starts in our brains when we wake up every morning, but not many of them know or experience that deep silent core that lies waiting within, like you do. Like you, they experience or study all the different details of the academic field, but they don't connect those fields or link them to themselves the way you do with the study of those universal principles of the science of creative intelligence. And while they too have strong bonds with their peers, you've experienced an uncommon depth of your relationships by removing stress on a daily basis and sharing that most sublime inner experience of silence, pure consciousness. All of the faces that we see around us on the wall in here are the pioneering graduates of the school who preceded you. And very soon, you will be among them. With this blessing of integrated education, inner and outer, guiding your life. We're very honored and excited that one of our most accomplished of those graduates is here with us today to deliver the graduation address. Jenny Rothenberg-Ritz graduated from Maharishi School in 1983. I'm sorry, yeah. It says 93. Where it says National Merit Finalist in 1993 there, that one is Jenny. She went on to Maharishi University of Management, where she earned a bachelor's degree in literature and a minor in writing, and graduated summa cum laude and was the valedictorian of that class in 1997. From there, she went on to become a teacher of the Transcendental Meditation Technique and taught TM in the San Francisco Bay Area. She went on then to earn her master's degree in journalism at the University of California at Berkeley in 2002, and there won the Harper's Award for Distinguished Magazine Writing at her graduation ceremony. Jenny moved immediately into a very promising career as a journalist when she interned at the Time Out magazine in London and then became a senior editor at The Moment, a national magazine that was founded by Billy Wassell. For the next 10 years, she was a senior editor at The Atlantic, where she interviewed some of the most remarkable people of our time, including Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Howard Bloom, Christopher Hitchens, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Since November of 2015, she's been a senior editor at Smithsonian, mostly editing science stories, everything from giraffes to space travel to human health. And she also wrote an article recently about David Lynch for that magazine when he won Smithsonian's American Ingenuity Award for Education. Jenny also welcomed our seniors during their senior trip to Washington, D.C. to her office, right in the Smithsonian, between the Air and Space Museum and the Hirshhorn. And they got an opportunity to see her office and her supervisors and the magazine layout and process and all during their trip to Washington. So we're so pleased, honored to have one of our most accomplished alumni back to Maharishi School to share her experiences and perspectives with the graduating class of 2017 and all of us. Please welcome Jenny Rothenberg.
Dr. Morris, Dean Bauman, members of the board, parents, teachers, members of the community, and beautiful graduates of the class of 2017. I was so honored when Dr. Bell asked me to be your speaker today. You have such an amazing background taken as a class. Even though you're a small group, you come from 4 different continents, I think, and Lorena has an Italian stepmother, so let's say 5. And you're such a creative group. You won the Destination Imagination World Championships, which is amazing. And all of us out there have been following some of the great things you've done this year, making this a really inclusive, diverse school. I know I can speak for generations of graduates when I say how happy I feel when I see that rainbow flag out there with all the flags in different countries. Thank you so much for doing that. And I know also as you're getting ready to go out in the world, studying all different kinds of fields, we heard about you over the past 2 days, all the amazing plans you have. You might have a question in the back of your mind that I had at your age, which is, am I going to be spending the rest of my life explaining that I grew up in a small town in Iowa at a school where everyone does transcendental meditation? And the answer is yes. And that's what I want to talk to you a bit about today, just what it's like to have that conversation. And actually, the good news is it turns out to be one of the best ways to open doors for yourselves and to really set yourselves apart from other people. And I can say that pretty confidently because I've been saying that for a long time. And you know, when I was growing up here, there were really really different time in America. Dr. Bell just spoke a little bit about the origins of the school. He belongs to that same generation my parents are from, the baby boomers. And at that time, meditation was very popular. My dad likes to talk about when he was a student at Columbia University, and he took a class in Eastern philosophy, and that was the first time he heard this phrase, aham brahmasmi, which I know for me, that's kind of, I've heard it so much, it's almost like a cliche, I am Brahman, yes. But for my dad, that was a really big revelation, this idea that there was the individual self that was called Atman, and then a universal self called Brahman, and that somehow they were the same thing. That was just nothing like he'd ever heard before. And that whole generation was kind of swept away by excitement about developing themselves and meditating. But by the time I moved here, which was 1982, this town really felt like an island. You know, it was the Reagan era, and I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Wall Street or the Madonna video for Material Girl. It was that kind of gets across what my childhood was like. I know some of you have parents who are a few years ahead of me, yeah, you know. So it was a wonderful place to grow up, but it didn't really feel in sync with the rest of the world. And then when I graduated, that was kind of the grunge era, and everyone was really reacting against that materialism, but people still weren't interested in meditation. I know mentioning grunge kind of dates myself. Jimmy's best friend recently told me that Nirvana is old people's music, so that's what you're listening to. It has lyrics like, I find it hard, it's hard to find, oh well, whatever, never mind. That was the world I graduated into. But even then, it was so interesting. I realized early on that when people asked where I was from and I told them, if I said it in the right way, if I said it confidently, and I said it like it was something cool and interesting about myself, it opened doors. I really credit getting into UC Berkeley's journalism school. I give a lot of credit to the fact that I had something different in my resume. I brought it up in job interviews. I think at the beginning, you know, this was like around 2000 or so, it was kind of a novelty. I know at my Berkeley graduation, everyone thought my father would be this crazy hippie, and yet he was the only father who came wearing a suit, so I think that was basically, the meditation was still a little fringy even in Berkeley. But I noticed over the years, as the culture around us started to change, people started coming to me, and it wasn't something I talked about all the time, but at the Atlantic, there was a really famous writer who came to my office one day. He said, I've just been so stressed, and everyone says, you're the one I should talk to. That was pretty cool after, you know, growing up here at a time when that was not the way people were thinking. And now, of course, you guys came to my office recently, which was so much fun for me, and everyone, by the way, fell completely in love with you. You should know you have nothing to worry about on that front throughout the world. But you heard my boss ask you, oh, are you from one of the 20 best small towns in America? The magazine actually had an article featuring Fairfield before I even started there. So that really shows how far things have come. So already you can go out there knowing there's going to be something really cool and special about you, but of course it's not just going to be your interesting backstory that sets you apart. People are also going to really notice things about you, and I can say this having gotten to know you a bit now. They're going to notice that it's just really easy for you to form more natural relationships with people, and they're going to see that you're ambitious, but you don't get completely eaten up by ambition the way a lot of people do. The way Natalie put it, I think, on Friday night, you're able to not worry but still care. And that's not that common out there in the world. And it's because you guys know that there's so much more to who you are than just your ambitions or anything you're going for. You know that if you're an industrial engineer, still the most important thing you're engineering is yourself. And it's the same if you're a writer or an actor or a historian or a business person. Anything you're doing, you're really creating your life and making your life a masterpiece is always going to be your focus, and people are going to be drawn toward that. And speaking of self-development, I also wanted to say a little bit about what we used to call enlightenment back in my day. I know you've had a lot of curriculum expansion, you brought a lot of new things into it. But I know when I was growing up at this school, that was a very, very big focus, this idea that human beings have infinite potential, that our own true nature is unbounded and eternal, and that it's possible to achieve higher states of consciousness and world peace. And I've been really grateful to be raised with that vision. It's really shaped the way I see the world. But what I wanted to tell you is, I remember back when I was younger, there were a few kids who kind of felt like their lives were going to fall short if they basically didn't have superpowers. They just had such a lofty vision that I think some of them lost sight of the different ways they were developing all the time, and just how amazing every part of life is, and all the sort of subtler ways you can notice that you're on the right track. So based on my experience, I just thought I'd share some of those with you that I've noticed in my life. So you can just look for, if you're waking up in the morning really looking forward to the day ahead of you, and if you notice that people are smiling at you a lot, that's a good sign, because people don't usually smile at someone who looks really grumpy and like they want to crawl back into bed. so that's a good indication. If you notice that you're starting to just feel more at home with everyone and everything around you, and you're starting to just be able to relate to more different people and situations as you go through life. And if you find that you're really admiring the people you meet and really learning from them, whether it's a mentor in your field or whether it's the man who runs the Indonesian food truck where you go every Wednesday who has an amazing life story. And if you're finding ways to make the world a better place, just using all the talents you have, if you're able to dive into the really deep questions in life without getting cynical, and if you have a sense of playfulness and mischief, if you notice all those quirky, crazy, hilarious things around you, and just feel entertained all the time. And for me, a big one is just if I'm walking down the street and I don't feel like there's a veil of tiredness over my eyes, if I really can appreciate how rich the sunlight is, and the smell of the flowers, and the blue sky, and I just feel it all kind of connecting with something in myself. I think those are all pretty good indications that things are on a good track. And I don't want to make it sound like you're never going to go through a hard time, because you will, we all do. And I don't want you to get discouraged when that happens either, because even then I feel like there are signs you can really look for of personal growth. Like, for instance, instead of getting totally immobilized by anxiety or depression, do you feel like you're learning about yourself somehow in that process? Are you finding ways to draw all the deepest insights and lessons out of any situation you're going through? Are you finding ways to fill yourself up, whether it's spending time outside in nature, playing music, or finding good friends who you can talk to and make you feel grateful to be alive? And if the answers to most of those questions are generally in the direction of yes, I'd say you're doing pretty well. And the thing that's so great is if things are ever off, you know what to do. It's not just that you can revert to some vision or some philosophy, although that turns out to be really handy too. But you have a really practical set of tools. You know how to develop your mind and your heart. You know how to transcend all that turbulence on the surface and then get back to that place where you remember who you really are, and you can do that every day. It's a huge asset in life. And you know how to find that part of yourself that just isn't touched by anything, and also the part of yourself that's really touched by everything, and finding those two getting closer and closer together, which is a really cool experience. And you know how to cleanse the doors of perception. That's how William Blake puts it. I always love that. So you can see more how everything really is, which is infinite, or at least get closer and closer to that. And I feel like when you're out there living your life that way, it might just turn out that actually you are getting enlightened after all, but maybe getting enlightened is just a really personal, simple, intimate experience. Maybe it doesn't feel like getting superpowers. Maybe it just feels like really, really living richly and connecting deeply to everything in the world. So I really wish that for all of you guys. And as you set off on this adventure too, I really want you to know you have so many graduates who came before you can always turn to. We're all so happy to help in any way we can. And we really feel like your success is our success, because we all come from this really unique, precious, crazy, wonderful place together. Every time any graduate from the school does something amazing out in the world, I know it makes me feel proud, and like I've accomplished something too. So please always feel free to turn to us. And now we're all going to be out there together. We're all going to be loving this world and learning everything we can and giving everything we can back to it. And with that, I will say huge congratulations and so much love to your class of 2017.
Pointing out some interesting signposts in the development of consciousness, and most especially thank you for being the embodiment of just those things you're talking about. It's very hard not to smile when you look at Jenny walking in the grass. I smile too when I look at our Dean of Students, Ms. Tori Bauman, and she will continue our ceremony with the acceptance of the senior.
I'd like to invite the President and Vice President of our Student Council to come up on stage, Milad Gubramarian and Philip Wyman.
As a token of gratitude, the class of 2017 would like to present Maharishi School with first a plaque for the Assembly Hall.
The class will also launch the Nature Support Fund, the first ever charity geared towards school lunches and uniforms to support low-income families at Maharishi School. The class will make the first donation of $1,400 to the program.
We hope this will take some of the weight off of future and returning students and families. Thank you.
I just want to accept this very humbly on behalf of our school and thank you for your generosity, thoughtfulness, and also I just want to share with you that in terms of gifts that Mr. Wilkins, the winner of our Distinguished Service Award, has one of these beautiful mugs for each of you in the back room there, so you'll also have a gift for each of you.
And now I'd like to recognize the highest academic achievements of this class of 2017. Please come forward, Ms. Jeevani Rodriguez, our valedictorian, and Alista Weigel, our salutatorian.
I have the pleasure now of introducing our Pioneer Award winner. That's a new term to many of you, but for our school since the very beginning, this is an award that was given to a student who stepped out and expected this exemplary qualities of leadership, of quality of life, of academic excellence, all around contributions to the school. And this year's recipient of the Pioneer Award, we're very happy to introduce Jeevani Rodriguez.
There are 27,000 schools in the U.S. In Iowa alone, there are 500. These schools have in common teachers, faculty, and staff, classes, chalkboards, desks, labs, sports, and extracurriculars. But every school is also different. Some are more technically oriented, some performing arts focused, some have a heavy sports influence, and some focus on sending their kids to prestigious universities. Maharishi School has one distinguishing feature. This school puts a laser focus on the students' development of consciousness. Normal schools just give their students the knowledge of the what. They teach facts and figures, historic moments in time, vocabulary words, information to store in memory, in consciousness, the container of knowledge. Maharishi School also gives that knowledge, but in addition teaches students to understand how to develop the container of knowledge itself, the knower, the person who is learning and growing and adapting. I know that my time here has been invaluable in giving me the tools to take care of my body, mind, and spirit. I hope that my class, who will soon be across the country and around the globe, will use Maharishi's teachings to better their lives, their communities, and the world, whether that be to usher in innovation in business, create advances and breakthroughs in technology, or heal the strain in global relationships. Maharishi once said, "I see only one do in life, and that is vibrate happiness. Live in happiness. Increase the happiness within yourself and within your surroundings, because the sole purpose of creation is increase of happiness, extension of happiness." So graduates, go out and be happy.
Dr. Morris, Dr. Jones, Dr. Bell, it is my privilege to report to you that the candidates here assembled have qualified in all respects by successfully completing curricula offered by Maharishi School Upper Division and have been recommended by the faculty and Maharishi School Board of Directors to be awarded diplomas in recognition of their academic accomplishment. The text of the diploma is an important reflection of the uniqueness of our school and consciousness-based education. We are proud to have Dr. Ellen Jones read the text for us now. Dr. Jones is the chair of the Maharishi School Board of Directors. She has contributed countless hours of inspiring leadership for the school's long-range planning and future success. Dr. Jones?
Congratulations, graduates of the class of 2017. Every time I look at you and hear you speak, my heart just overflows like your mother. So thank you for that. And I would also like to thank your parents and your host parents, your teachers, administrators, and our whole community for helping to raise you and bring you to this fantastic milestone. So thank you to all. It's my honor to read the text of the 2017 Maharishi School Diploma, and it reads as follows. With completion of your consciousness-based education at Maharishi School, you have attained a unique integrated preparation for life, including college-level achievements. Through the study of the science of creative intelligence and the practice of the Transcendental Meditation technique, and for some, the TM City program, you have come to know the simplest state of your own awareness. You have increased your ability to live 200% of life, 100% inner development together with 100% outer achievement, engaging in dynamic activity while sustaining that inner silence. You have developed critical thinking, creative problem solving, and exploration of the depth and diversity of our world family. You have understood that all branches of knowledge are rooted in consciousness. Each day forward, you will be able to draw upon the education you have gained at Maharishi School to unfold your full creative potential and to fulfill your own interests while simultaneously fulfilling the interests of your community, your nation, and your world. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. I'm going to make this come up a tiny bit. Will Matt Fleshman, our college counselor, please come to the podium to read the names of the graduates, and will the candidates for the upper school diploma please rise in preparation to receive their diplomas.
Malad Geber-Mariam. Lorena Hansen. Lee Lin. Chu Rohan. Jeevani Yuki Rodriguez. Madeline Page Stood. Alyssa Weichel. Yong Yu Jo. Sai Jayong.
Caleb John Molyneux. Philip Chestnut Weiner.
Would the graduates please stand? By the authority vested in me by the Maharishi School Board of Directors, I hereby award you the upper school diploma with all honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Let's flip those tassels. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the graduating class of 2017. Back this way. Amber, Ariel, Lily, and Jackson. On Friday night, each one of you told us the challenges you faced in coming to the United States and to this school and learning this crazy, inconsistent English language. On top of that, you face all the challenges of being an adolescent, just like your classmates. But you did it, you earned your American high school diploma and entry into American University here in China. We're very proud of you for it. So forgive me if I close your high school career with one more vocabulary lesson. But this is for all of your classmates. I'm absolutely certain, probably, that the single easiest and most difficult word to define in the English language is love. It's maybe the most overused word in our language and maybe the most underused word. Friday night, each of you boldly shared your love for those who have touched you most, those who have moved you most, those who have helped you most, those who you love most. The four of you all complimented Miss Cornell and Miss Ellinghouse, not just because they help you learn weird words and strange sentence structures, but because they love you. All of your teachers felt that for you, as did your family and your friends and this community. In fact, everyone here came today out of love for one or a few or all of you. So, before you leave this auditorium for the last time, for the first time as a graduate of Maharishi School, I want you to understand and feel the definition of that word one more time. And so I'm going to ask you to turn again and face the audience and family and friends and teachers and fellow students and board and community members. Would you please share your love for these graduates one more time? What's amazing about what just happened is that for everything that these people just gave you, they're not lesser for that. They're more. Somehow, excuse me, somehow when you give love, You get bigger, you get better, you get brighter, maybe even more blissful. It's a kind of miracle. So graduates, this charge, this is this final part of the ceremony before you're going out from your high school career, sending you out to the world in all directions, is intended to challenge and inspire you. My charge for you today is to go out in the world and find love, to sustain love, to find people who love and appreciate you, even when they may disagree and irritate you. Find work that you love, that's worthy of your full attention, your full energy, your full heart. Find a community that you love, where you learn and grow from mutual interests and from diverse perspectives. Find a life that you love, that allows you to freely give all the wonder and creativity and goodness they all see in you already, that's so evident already. And never forget that just like love, you have within you this infinite reservoir of creativity and intelligence and energy right there inside, and it's a source of self-love. It's the fountain for the love that you will give to others. You are more than ready now to go out and do great things, and this world wants and needs your love. Thank you. Would the representatives of the new senior class of 2018, please come forward. Come on up, gang. By taking these seats, you're assuming your new role as a senior class of Maharishi School. It's your responsibility to do your best to inspire and lead all the other students to the high goal of living their full potential, as you saw in the students. So we're confident you'll do just as good a job. Thank you. Just mention that after the recession, there'll be a group photo for the graduates in the courtyard. And they need a little bit of time to get that organized and take a coherent picture. So if you all allow them to exit into the courtyard, take the picture, and then you can congratulate them. Because there'll be a reception in the central lobby of the building accompanying us at Hobson Hall. So, there's no, oh, okay. So we will wish our graduates of the class of 2017, the best possible exit here with all of our love, and there will be a reception happening here very shortly. So if you will, please. Thank you. Let's get together.
Wait, should we take it off?
Yeah, can we just take it off?
We take them off.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
There you go.
Get them ready.
Tassel is gone.
Okay.
Is it official then?
Okay.
Where's
Hello.
my tassel?
2, 3.
This is dangerous.
Now it's official.
I can do this.